Greetings, geeks. Welcome to episode 878 of Geeks in Space. I am Rob Commander Taco Malda, and I am joined in pretend low Earth orbit by the dynamic duo, the gruesome twosome, Chris DeBona.
What about gruesome
and
speaks to you for Rob and I?
And Rob Roseboom.
I take issue.
Hello?
The gruesome twosome?
Yeah.
You don't like that? The dynamic
I mean,
duo.
I don't know if dynamic would be the first, word I use to describe myself.
How about the pretty pair?
How about the Rado Taco?
Yeah.
How about we could be the tricky trio?
The Toxic Commander.
The Toxic Commander. Yeah, that checks out.
Yeah.
Well, we're trying to make the subreddit work. I actually have another theory. I'm wondering if somehow my not safe for work 18 and above flag got like in a weird state, so I couldn't see myself.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe that's it. But now I'm looking at old Reddit, and old Reddit is kind of amazing. It looks like how Reddit should look. It looks like Hacker News. Still does, I guess. Little tiny thumbnails and up and down icons. It's kind of lovely. Having little flashbacks. Okay, the oldest story that I have on the list is the Tesla drives the wily coyote into a wily coyote fake road. It's a Mark Roper video.
Yeah, that's right.
And actually, the video is in two halves. In the first half of the video, he actually takes a little LiDAR sensor, mounts it to his chest, and then rides through Space Mountain, and then 3D prints a LiDAR generated map of the inside of Space Mountain, which is actually pretty neat. And then he explains the difference between RF and laser-based cameras, and then proceeds to show the Tesla run over several small mannequins of children.
As he would go through fog, heavy rain, and the fake wily coyote.
The wily coyote wall. It's a charming video in the way that all Mark Roper videos are.
Yeah, it's he tends to talk scream. Whenever he's talking, he's always talking at the highest end of his range, which
what
is
do
very
you
popular
mean?
on YouTube. It's very Mr. Beastie.
Yeah.
I've stranded 100,000 children behind a fake wall and seeing if they're going to get hit by kids.
We filled it with goo.
And we filled up this Tesla full of goo, and we're going to see if it still kills all those kids.
Yeah. It's a little extra, but his target audience is children. So
yeah, no, for sure, absolutely.
But no, this is it's
so
actually,
he only runs over children in the videos?
They have little mannequins of GIs targeting children, specifically with Teslas, but other cars too.
Sure,
and like rocks dropped from high places.
Yeah, you don't want to pigeonhole yourself, right?
Dropped into schoolyards, into playgrounds. Wherever children wait in line. No, it's actually I'm glad that one of you, Chris, I think, shared that video because I watched that over the weekend and enjoyed it. It
is very fun.
It's very informative. Explains the problems with using lasers versus cameras for your maps. Does a good job. The next one that we have on the list, I'm going in reverse order on my version of Reddit today, Chris, is the one that Rob shared about the dog toes.
Rob's gonna have to explain this one.
I haven't read it yet.
Gross.
Oh no.
Well, evidently, this man died, and his dog ate parts of his corpse, and they took the dog into the shelter, and while there, the dog threw up body parts, and this lady, knowing how valuable a human toe might be on the black web, went and collected the toes, put them in formaldehyde, and tried to sell them on the internet.
No.
And they said no, that was wrong. Now she's in trouble.
Well,
I mean, I don't know where the
is she in trouble?
Yeah, she's gonna get in trouble about it.
Listen, I don't want to like body shame or hair shame, but I'm gonna.
That's a lot of red.
I mean, when you look at this person, don't you think she's probably got some dog regurgitated toes in her pocket?
I would think she has.
Odd,
she has some stuff in the basement. Maybe she could sell. I don't know that her look says I have human toes.
Yeah, I don't know what that looks like.
Yeah, I imagine different than that.
We should get one of those image generating LLMs to tell us what a person who keeps toes, regurgitated toes.
The glasses maybe say I have human toes.
So I'm trying to do a Google Lens.
Uh-huh.
So those are designer Matsuda glasses, or a copy. How much do you think they are?
Well, you couldn't pay me to wear them, so I'm gonna say free.
I think they are $49.
All right then.
Well, sounds like she could use some toe money then.
Yeah, she can upgrade her glasses.
I'm not sure where those tours get their toes for toe drinks, but I mean they have to source them from somewhere.
Right.
Oh yeah, they're a copy of a Louis Vuitton. They're a cheap copy of a Louis Vuitton. It looks like.
I have a story in here.
I can't believe she didn't buy the original, but you know. What's your next story there?
Well, I don't know that we have it on the list because I'm a little out of order, but we had a story, and I actually had a question about this one. There's call centers that are using AI to remove accents from Indian call centers.
Was this in the thing?
It's in the GIS links.
AI to whiten Indian accents.
Yes. There we go. And I was thinking about that. Like, I have a really hard time understanding call centers, and it's a combination of things. Sometimes there's accents that's a part of it, but usually it's just that their phone connection is so bad, and it's like they're staticky, and you can hear other people around them, and there's latency. Like, it seems like that like there could be like this could be great. Like, why don't we just have all voices run through some sort of filter just so I can understand them? This isn't even about accents. This is about bad phone connections.
Yeah.
But they did have a thing about how if you take away the Indian accent, that maybe that improves empathy. I was like, oh no, that's a problem. Anyway, I thought that story was interesting.
Yeah, it is one I haven't posted yet, but maybe I will. Sorry. So for our listeners, we've had an issue with Reddit's posting mechanism. So I had to basically post all these within like 2 seconds of each other. That's why the descriptions are not as high quality as you would expect from Mr. Malda.
You know, I don't usually write descriptions. I just cut and paste whatever you guys say.
I know,
and go.
But I wanted to do the bare minimum.
I do.
Thank you very much.
You're doing more than the bare minimum. And I thank you for it.
I haven't had this kind of submission stress since the 2000s, Mr. Malda.
Man, I've forgotten.
You want to go?
I
don't know, Rosebud. You want to go moderate some 300,000 comments while we're doing this, so we can really recreate our past stressful lives?
I mean, sure. I have a few hours.
Yeah, I got that kind of time.
Yeah, you got that kind of time.
Got that kind of time. Hey, the Starlink astronauts, they're home.
Wait, what's this egg story?
Those Boeing guys, they got back on the ground.
Oh, they did?
Yeah.
That's nice.
Butch and Sunny.
Called an Uber. And
wait, are they home or is this just
No, I thought they just scheduled it.
Oh, well, they're still up there. Poor Butch and Sunny.
But it's okay because Trump says they might fall in love, and who knows?
Yeah.
You know? So
often relationships are forged in the most difficult of circumstances, like being stranded in low Earth orbit. Well, guys, maybe that'll happen to us if we spend enough time stranded in pretend low Earth orbit. We can pretend to fall in love.
Are we on the space pimp story?
Yeah.
Can I just say this is key submission quality here? You know,
you like it?
No one else has a headline like that.
Oh yeah,
it's true.
This is awesome.
Did you see that another SpaceX exploded? Another Starship test?
Yeah. So I would again point out my incredibly cool submission. SpaceX latest Starship flight ends with another whoopsie daisy that halts flights across the southeast. And then my description is whoosh, boom, oh, boom, wow. What do you mean my flight's canceled? Isn't it? It tells the story.
Yeah.
It completely tells the story.
Anytime I can work in automatopoeia.
Yeah.
Right?
I was on the ride with you. the whole way.
Right. We were there together.
Yeah, we experienced it
as friends.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I remember where we were when it happened.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, perhaps not romantically loving friends, but friends nonetheless.
I think I love you guys, but like in a friendly way.
Yeah.
Not in a action way.
Not in like a astronaut trapped in space kind of way.
Not in like an Eros way, more like in a agape
I don't have any
way.
special knowledge, but I'm pretty sure Butch and Sunny both have families on Earth and are not engaging in space congress. Yeah, I mean, what are you seeing outside your window there?
Well, my dogs are going crazy, and there's some sort of delivery man here.
You're in low Earth orbit.
You're breaking the illusion. Low Earth orbit.
That's incredible.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Sorry.
Yeah.
No.
I'm in front of the bloody door from The Shining. So
you're not really at the Overlook right now?
No, I'm not.
Oh.
But I am afraid of red rum. Always afraid of red rum. NASA shut off another Voyager science instrument. But guys, Voyager's still going.
Yeah. Is it approaching the heliopause again?
It's approaching the menopause.
The menopause.
No.
So I didn't actually read this article. I'm assuming its RTGs are continuing to decline in power delivery, so they've got to shut off instruments so that they can continue to send their occasional pings saying, "Are you out of the heliopause yet?" Let's just say so.
Sure. Yeah. Don't worry though, because there'll be another pause that they can mention later. Although I guess now they won't know because they can't measure anything.
The Rose Booma pause,
Well, eventually
they shut off all the instruments. They have some.
They have the radio. They can talk.
They have a radio. Yeah. They've got eventually a temperature sensor.
They can pick up every Alien Zoo morning show. Out there.
Yeah.
Toe jam and the cheese.
Head the douche.
Yeah.
Welcome, douche nation.
Welcome to Grit Glock and Splatter.
That's like the Plutonian morning show.
Hey, since we last streamed,
figure that out.
There was a backdoor discovered in the ESP32 Bluetooth controller, and then it turned out it wasn't a backdoor at all. It was just the opcodes to control the Bluetooth controller.
Where'd that go?
Yeah, that's pretty good. That's pretty good.
Bluetooth.
I did like that story because there was 24 hours where everybody was freaking out, and if there was an actual backdoor on the ESP32 chip, that would be monstrous, because I was trying to go through all the different things in my house that have ESP32s in them.
Everything does.
Yeah. I have an air filter with an ESP32 in it, and my litter box.
They're so cheap.
My litter box has an ESP32 in it, and I have a millimeter wave Wi-Fi, a millimeter wave motion detector that has an ESP32 in it. And these are just random devices that I've connected with Home Assistant to my network. So I imagine there are more things that have it that I don't even know about.
I think it's in every smart plug in the house.
Probably.
It's in.
Let me ask you,
literally
Chris,
everything I'm looking at probably has an ESP32.
Let me ask you, Chris, do you keep your Internet of Things in a segmented subnet?
I have a virtual LAN for that stuff, but yeah.
Okay, I was just curious. I do too. I just wondered. Since all my ESP32s are in a segmented subnet, and I'm just wondering if that's normal. It is ish, but the thing about the Zigbee stuff is there's not an opportunity to do that. Well, the Zigbee stuff is my Zigbee router. Actually, my Zigbee router is an ESP32, and that only lives on my other network, and it only routes through Home Assistant. So,
Home Assistant.
Anyway, I like that story because everybody freaked out for 1 minute, and then we all stopped.
Yeah. It's like the asteroid story,
Right. Yep.
And maybe it's actually a message to us that we should be more reliable in our broadcasting, so that we can react in real time. Oh my gosh, there's a backdoor. Everything I own has a backdoor. Then we can go, it turned out it was BS,
It's all fake.
We could get twice the airtime out of it.
That's true. We could get 100 views twice.
Yeah.
Let me point out that asteroid still, there's a non-zero chance that it'll hit Earth. I'm still
Yeah, is it like down below?
It
was below 1 in 1,000, right? Is it now like 1 in 10,000?
Yeah.
But I'm still gonna wear my hard hat for the next 10 years, just in case.
Maybe we'll get lucky.
Yeah. Rob, you shared a story about illegal eggs being seized at the border.
Yeah, I mean, it's not much of a story other than they've collected, I think this story said $32,000 worth of eggs.
Whoa. That's a lot of omelets.
But the prices, that's only like 3 dozen or something. So
well, so here's a question, right? Are they doing that like DEA math? Where they're like, once it hits the street and it's cut with like, milk and cheese and put inside a burrito, a 3-egg burrito or a 2-egg burrito is going to sell for like $16, right? So it's really $8 per egg seized, So, and how many dozen are we talking about here?
So you think they're converting all those eggs into soufflés first, and then
and
what's the exchange rate?
$20 for them,
right?
Yeah, I don't know what do people pay for a souffle now, right? Who knows?
Less.
Who knows?
Yeah, that's exactly what they're doing. Somebody's inflating their CV.
Where do they find how many they seized? How many they grab?
We'll never know. 3,000.
Bird and poultry related products.
Yeah, but is that dozens of eggs or single eggs? We'll never know.
So someone just had a whole bunch of illegal chicken feet, and then that gets counted too as a seizure. Yeah. Do they count each chicken foot, or?
It was actually.
I think it's.
Well, usually, chicken feet are usually exported to China from Canada.
It was probably just a bunch of 20-piece chicken McNuggets, but they counted them individually. Each nugget independently.
Yeah.
And they count the sauce too.
Yeah. So. The sour cream sauce, the sweet and sour sauce, that counts.
So using the burrito metric for measuring things and assuming that's a dozen eggs, which we know it isn't, we're talking about a seizure worth $361,728.
This devastates the burrito industry.
Yeah.
I hope somebody really at Chipotle's got a lawyer on this case. I have a story on here, another accent story, actually. The high fidelity story. It's from it's about the Brutalist.
I don't know if I put that one in, but yeah.
I just wanted to mention it because it's actually really interesting. I doubt either of you watched The Brutalist, but it's a quite good film.
I understand it's very long.
It is very long. There are sequences of it which are shockingly not in English, and apparently they used AI to go over the dialogue that Adrian Brody and Felicity Jones used, the foreign language dialogue, and they used it to clean up their accents. They claim that it wasn't used on just scenes with their accents. They claim that it was only in the dialogue in the other language. Because they said that it would have sounded weird to a native speaker because they had accents when they were speaking foreign languages. And then this is just an interesting moral quandary about these. This is an Oscar-winning performance, and the part of the dialogue, at least, was redone by AI. It's just an interesting quandary. I thought that was an interesting story, and you should.
Do you think so? Shouldn't she have won? Felicity Jones have won for Rogue One? Just saying.
No,
I really like that one.
It's okay. It's solid. Yeah.
I'm
rewatching.
You just think Andor. It's okay. You, Rob Malda.
Yes. Okay. I think a lot of movies are okay.
True. That's a very broad range for you.
Well, so I think films exist on a bell curve, and I think that the middle of the bell curve is completely fine. And I will watch
like the racist book, or just a normal bell curve,
or the statistical distribution thing. It doesn't have to. Not everything is racist, Chris.
I'm just saying. This egg story make me think you're racist.
Racist eggs. Those eggs probably more white eggs than brown eggs.
Yeah, and maybe the white eggs are pushing the brown eggs to being more expensive.
Yeah,
and in the corner, just saying.
There's a whole lot of racism stories in the news these days.
What was the Eddie Murphy movie?
Trading Places.
Norbit.
The Clumps.
No, the one where he's like part of an ensemble cast. Maybe it was a Wayans brother movie.
Harlem Nights.
Stop it. So
no, that was when he was in. It was ensemble cast.
Well, it was the one where it wasn't that one, and it was, I think, Eddie Murphy, and he's sort of a ladies' man type character, but he meets this girl, and she's the one, boy. So he has to change his ways. Maybe it was Boomerang, where they had the scene with the pool table, and I guess it's Martin Lawrence or some other friend of his who's like, see what it is the white ball is knocking all the colored balls into the pockets, and then you end by sinking the black ball. It's a very funny moment. That's
all right.
I'm sure someone will remember something.
Well, we got a story in there about a woman arrested for assault with
wait a second. Magnum PI said gold something. What he's thinking of is the one where it's the people counterfeiting handbags with Steve Martin. That was a great movie. Bowfinger.
Bowfinger is the one where they're actors, and they're trying to make a movie, and I think Eddie Murphy plays two characters, right? He plays like a
this is pre-Clumps or whatever.
I rewatched Bowfinger maybe like 6 months ago, and like
I bet it's still great.
It's funny. I saw that in theaters back in the day.
I mean, I'd watch anything with Steve Martin. But.
Yeah, kind of. But that's kind of what it was. I was stepping through a bunch of Steve Martin classics.
Yeah.
Not unlike rewatching some Gene Hackman classics in the last couple of weeks.
Boy.
Well, okay, I got a story about a woman arrested for assaulting someone with a Pringles can, which I just thought was funny because we had Pringles. I like mentioning Pringles.
Again, I want to call out my incredibly high quality, very fast submission quality.
Yeah.
Pringles can, everything they can't do. Sure, we've had extensive experience with Wi-Fi augmentation, but have you tried crime with it?
I'm in.
That's how you write a story.
We've also got the first released photographs.
No, we should talk about the actual story.
I mean, there really isn't a story.
Does she have like a Pringle can tattoo over here? Is that what that is?
She just
or is it just like Pringle-related injury?
Is it a skin tag?
She just smacked somebody with what she had on hand, is all.
She doesn't look happy.
No.
Yeah, no, I think that's just a scar or something. It's not an actual
I don't think
Pringles tattoo.
Probably.
If she had a Pringle tattoo, it would have taken this story from just a person in bad situations.
She's got another mark on her forehead. It looks like she didn't come willingly to the police.
Oh, you think this is police-related obstruction?
This lady's had a hard life.
Injuries.
Yeah, once you're a Pringles fighter,
it's part of the Pringle life.
Yeah.
Once you pop, you can't stop, yo.
Yeah.
So we got the first picture of Peter Dinklage as Toxic Avenger that showed up on Entertainment Weekly.
Where is it?
I'm interested in this one. I liked Toxic Avenger when I was a kid.
The makeup seems okay, but I mean,
kind of looks too good.
Toxic Avenger is a giant person.
Yep.
Right. So
yeah. Are they gonna like do the thing they did in Avengers where they make him a giant, but a little person giant?
Right.
I don't know.
I'm not sure.
I'm not a producer.
But aren't you?
No.
Honestly, this could be anybody. Who cares?
Yeah.
It's Toxic Avenger. It's like, are they going to focus the first bit of the movie like they did the original Toxic Avenger, where you got to meet the Toxic Avenger in his human form, and then he falls into the Toxic Avenger pit?
I think he's going to look like Peter Dinklage
at
that point.
Yeah.
So they didn't really need a picture of it because
and did Troma's doing this one, right?
I hope so.
I mean, they better. I hope they didn't like say, "Hey, let's get a Russo brother to rebuild the Toxic Avenger." Speaking of which, that Christopher Nolan is rebooting Starship Troopers.
Is that what he's
trying to be
on?
closer to the book?
Man.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that's the thing that's going on. I'm like,
I would enjoy that.
It's just the Verhoeven one is so good.
It really is.
Except for all the acting and the actors, it's a perfect movie.
Yeah. Lots of that. Well, bits of the acting is fine. I love Clancy in that movie. He's great.
Oh, but he's good.
Clancy is good in everything.
I mean, come on, Clancy Brown, come on. Yeah, and the other guy. They have a couple like
Casper
if they're in a movie, I'm going to watch it. Yeah, that's not one of them.
No.
Yeah. He basically is like a puppy.
Most of the leads are rough. But they're
really
supposed
rough.
to be. They're supposed to be dumb soap opera stars.
Yeah, no, it was literally just soap opera stars. There's a lot of Melrose Placians.
Yep.
Melrose Placians.
You guys both shared, I think, the cougar cubs story that showed up from our tree loving pals too on
because it was adorable.
Yeah, there's cougar cubs back in Michigan.
Yeah, I mean, this is the story we need right now. You know, it's so sweet.
Where I lived in the UP was one of the counties where they had regular cougar sightings, and there was theorized that the cougars were living there and not just visitors from Canada. But this is the first time they found cubs here, so
that's cool.
So this is up in the
population now. So. Oh, adorable!
He's gonna murder things.
Great.
Go murder kitty.
That's a great cat. Look at that great cat.
He's a good boy.
And you know what? Considering how many trucks are there, they'll be able to hide really well.
That's true.
Yeah.
You know,
that's true.
Like they're actually half colored. They're like bunnies in the winter. You know.
Although all kidding aside, I am worried about with the Trump cuts if we have enough people to change the litter box out there.
Yeah.
Because I don't know who's going to do that. Volunteers, I suppose, but.
Well, I think, all the people who used to do it at the high school.
Yeah.
I think we just legislate the entire UP as a litter box. Like that's the national cougar litter box.
Come on, man. That's not cool.
Oh, no. Oh.
Yeah, we're not gonna shit on the Upers. We like them.
This is just a practical matter.
It's like half our audience, I'm sure.
And I'm not shitting on the Upers.
Like, what else
the Cougars are going to shit on the Upers. You know?
I mean, how many Upers basically subsist on podcasts and Snap?
Not a lot else to do up there except dodge cougars.
Podcasts and Snap, right?
In all varieties.
Yeah. When you were running the bar, were you able to take Snap for food items?
No, I don't think they had the cards for that at that point.
Okay, it was still
I don't think Snap started until later. Yeah.
Okay.
And you couldn't use it to buy alcohol either.
Yeah, you can't use it to buy alcohol or prepared food, right? I don't know, man.
I can't remember what the rules are.
I've been fortunate enough. I have no idea.
There you go.
You know, yeah.
Check your privilege, buddy.
No, that's kind of exactly what I just did.
I only know because a lot of the times when you're buying things on the online stores, they have the little logo next to it when it says it's like eligible.
So a friend of mine, Derek Jones, a couple years ago, I think, 2016. This is old. So he wrote this in 2016. Okay, I want people to go read it, especially if you have one of those Kindle, unlimited subscriptions because it's free. And what it is it's a very short story. It's like 5,000 words, 6,000 words. And it's about a group of friends who are having trouble tracking down their friend who keeps on replying to them, keeps on sending food and gifts and other things. But yeah, it is unusually prophetic.
All right.
So I would say people should go read it. I don't want to say too much about it. Derek's a super neat guy. But yeah, I would go read this story. It's a good story.
I don't even have a Kindle anymore. I'll have to figure out a way to read it.
You can read online.
Okay. So. Well, then I have online.
Everyone has a Kindle, really.
That's
right. You just get the Kindle app.
I think it's like 99 cents if you. Yeah. The web app. There's a web app.
Wow. Yeah. I rewatched because of following the death of Gene Hackman. Boy, did you guys see how that story ended up? Like what actually happened?
Yes.
Oh, it's so sad.
So sad.
You know?
Oh.
She was basically his caregiver.
Yeah.
And then she died. And then he died.
And
she died of hantavirus.
Yeah.
Like, dude, that's some like hot zone shit right there.
Of the timeline, it was, if I remember right, it was up to 8 days. It could have been.
Yeah, it was like 7 or 8 days.
He was alone by himself,
Yeah.
And he's clearly should be in memory care,
Yeah.
Correct. I mean, that's how the dog died, because we were curious too. The dog was in a cage because she had just got it from the vet that morning or something. And it take it out, so just stayed in there.
That is so sad. Yeah.
It's just a terrible story. And also, I hate to say, he's a rich guy. Why didn't they have a caregiver come by every once in a while?
I couldn't believe they didn't have a nurse stop by.
Somebody.
Like,
yeah, you would think they would have like a nurse bring by their weekly load of pills or whatever, and
something.
It's really sad.
Well, I imagine that she was point, and she just didn't answer the phone for a couple of days. I mean, that's really sad. Well,
and it was like workers who discovered them, you know. So some remodeling.
I rewatched The French Connection and The Conversation.
Great movies.
And The Poseidon Adventure and Superman 1 as my little Gene Hackman marathon.
I mean, Superman had its moments.
Yeah.
Superman 2, solid. Superman 3, I kind of liked. Because
I got some issues, but we talked about it on the cast.
We watched the Royal Tenenbaums.
Nice. So, that's a good. I rewatched that one a few months ago. It's damn
he was in the boat one, the U-boat one with Denzel Washington, right? Crimson Tide.
Crimson Tide.
Yeah.
And who can forget the classic moment in PCU where the Hackman Kane conjecture was posited?
Right.
You know?
What about that? Good callback, Chris.
I don't remember that.
No, I am a scholar. You know? So. That was a very funny moment in that movie.
In a relatively forgettable movie.
Yeah. With the oldest possible college students, you know,
right?
Like Jeremy Piven's hair was like all the way back, by then, So yeah.
I watched Fight or Flight, which is Josh Hartnett basically doing Bullet Train. And if you want to watch some Fight or Flight, it's just a dumb movie. It's a very dumb movie.
Did we cover all of our stories?
That was the list.
AI chess.
That was the list.
Well, did we talk about AI chess cheating?
Oh,
we didn't.
Oh,
that's
sorry.
Okay. Well, I posted it twice, so that's fine. Why did I post it?
They did say that when
no, you posted AI cheats at chess with the Starship story.
That's right, because that was the one that we were testing on.
Well, it looks like I can remove it, but it's not important right now.
Doesn't matter.
I mean, it doesn't matter. We're the really only consumers of this site.
This is for us.
And Magnum PI.
Yep. Thanks,
which
Magnum.
we appreciate.
Thanks, Magnum. Fight or Flight is not a good movie, but it's got some really cool gory murders in the end if you want to watch some cool gory murders.
Fight.
It's actually pretty fun.
Or Flight.
I also watched Paddington in Peru, which is not as good as Paddington 2.
Which is supposed to be very good.
Paddington 2, I Will Fight You. It's a great movie. It's one of the best movies ever. It's a perfect movie.
I go by the Paddington station often, and they have a statue
that's nice.
Of Mr. Paddington.
Hard Truths is not a good movie. It's a great movie, but it's a performance about a woman with depression. And she's the angriest person you've ever seen. It hurt because it reminds me, good Paddington. Because it reminds me of people I know.
Okay, so what's the thing? I was
Hard
Paddington
Truths.
Searching.
Hard Truths.
Hard Truths.
She has she's a depressed, angry, bitter woman in a shitty life situation. But it's amazing. But also like watching this woman yell at like store clerks and stuff, like it's just it hurts. The Order is Jude Law infiltrating white supremacists in the 80s.
Okay. It's not about a person really being careful in what they're ordering from Uber Eats?
Nope. Okay. Nope. He's really mad that they didn't include condiments. No, it's a good movie. It's got Nicholas Hoult in it, and I got a lot of time for Nicholas Hoult.
I love that guy.
Yeah.
He's great.
He's really good in it, but he plays a white supremacist. And it's a lot. I wish... I guess that maybe I don't wish, but like I can never tell because parts of it like seem so cartoony, like over the top, exaggerated. But also, I'm like, you're talking about white supremacists, like their belief structure is already kind of cartoony. So I guess I'm the wrong person to try to measure accuracy in that subject. The Watchers is M. Night Shyamalan has another kid, and she directed in this one.
Oh no!
Yeah. It stars Dakota Fanning.
She's great.
Yep. Rob, you might actually enjoy this movie, but it's Not a very good movie.
Does she force us to listen to her sister's music for the show?
No, at no point do we listen to a Shyamalan's music.
Not bad.
But it's an interesting one.
Do you like it?
It's not good.
It's a movie.
It's not good. But it's very
I'd call good.
It's very watchable. It's very interesting. It's kind of a mess. There's a really good sci-fi premise to it.
Oh, is there a twist at the end?
Kinda, but not really. Because I guess the movie.
The twist is there's no twist at all.
Yeah, right. Whoa. There's a twist, I guess, but it's not really a twist because it's like 20 minutes away from the end, and then you have to have a whole nother act, kind of. So it's just like the third act reveal. It's not the finale reveal, I guess. Shanti is actually really fun. It's a Bollywood flick. It's a dude in the 70s, and he's like an extra, and then he gets tangled up with a movie star, and then dies, and then reincarnates 30 years later and has to untangle take revenge upon the guy who did it. It's a really fun movie, but you gotta like Bollywood in like 3-hour movies where they just stop and dance for like.
I don't know how to spell it well enough to find it.
It's Om.
It's okay.
O-M Shanti. Shanti. Om. And it's charming and fun.
Om. Okay.
It made $1 zillion in Bollywood like 15 years ago. And it apparently there's like this 10-minute long song in the middle, which is just like cameo, and it has like something like 40.
And you know none of them.
I know none of them, but the editing is all like, you can tell like the camera's like waiting for you to applaud as yet another. It's basically like in Endgame when one after another Marvel superhero keeps showing up and you're like, yay, yay, yay. But it's like every one of them gets a verse in this song that goes on forever. And I know none of them. The other one that I wanted to mention.
Why are you racist? I mean, why don't you know any of them?
Because I only
not even the one that married the Jonas brother.
I don't even know what a Jonas brother looks like. So I guess a Jonas brother could have been. Was the Jonas brother Eros at the end of the Eternals?
No, that was the guy who was in the bear.
Oh.
I think.
I don't think it was, but because.
Oh, you're right. That is a Jonas brother.
I'm not, or I know he was a heartthrob. I just wasn't sure which one. I'm not up to date on my heartthrobs.
I think that's
Wait, the Jonas Brothers are Eternals?
Yep.
It explains
no
a lot.
wonder I don't like
Harry Styles.
Harry
One Direction.
Styles. He's a directioner.
Not a yeah. I was thinking of the guy from the Bear who was a gold person. The gold people.
Oh, yeah. In Guardians of the Galaxy, you mean?
Yes.
Oh. Yeah. I guess I wouldn't have thought of him as being from the Bear. I would have thought of him as.
He was only in like one episode.
I know, that's why he was like, he's
so
a meme.
Good in it, man. Everyone's good in that fucking show, though.
He's the meme kid from the You Guys Are Getting Paid. Isn't that the kid?
Yeah, he's the same actor.
Yeah. So the other one that I just wanted to mention is called The Electric State.
Did you watch that? Was it good?
I did, and I actually wanted to.
I do like the Russo brothers. They make.
It's the Russo brothers, and it's written by Marcus and McFeely, the same guys who did all the Captain America movies and Avengers movies that they directed. I'm not going to tell you this is like a 5-star masterpiece or anything. It's a 3-star Hollywood mockbuster. But there is like the problem with this movie is that it has too many ideas, too many hard sci-fi ideas, and they try to wrap it up in the trimmings of a rated PG action movie. And Kat actually made a really good comment while we were watching. She's like, it's really smart. There's a big battle with all the robots, right? And she's like, they can do whatever they want because there's not going to be any blood and it'll be rated PG. And like that's kind of the whole thing about this movie is that it's like they're trying so desperately to be like family kid friendly, and then there's a few things that are just not family kid friendly in it. But I'm not going to tell you it is a good movie. I will tell you it's only like an hour 50 long, and there are enough good sci-fi premise ideas if you're willing to sit through a bit of like there's a lot of clunky exposition, like the first 10 or 15 minutes has to set up the whole premise of the movie. And it's basically, it's an alt 90s where we developed like super smart robots in the 60s that all look like Astro Boy. And by the time we get to the 90s, there's a war because the AI robots want to run shit and be equals with the peoples, I guess. And the only way we win the war is by building augmented reality robots. So the augmented reality robots fight the robots, the AI robots.
Okay.
And now after the war is over, all the robots are like locked up in a bit, like in Arizona or something, like in a walled Arizona. And all the people just are now living in their virtual reality helmets all the time.
Yeah.
So like there's all these really interesting meaty sci-fi concepts. But like the robots look like Astro Boy. And like everything is like just a little goofier because it's targeted at like a 13-year-old audience. And it doesn't ever quite become more than the sum of its parts, but there's actually a lot of really cool ideas in it. And I would actually suggest you watch it if you want to watch like a silly, fun robot fight movie.
But it has robots punching each other, right?
There are Rock'em Sock'em robots, and there are augmented reality robots. And the leader of the robot resistance is no shit, it's Mr. Peanut. But it's like a robot Mr. Peanut voiced by Woody Harrelson. There's
that's a choice.
I know. And that's the thing, is that this whole movie is like, that's a choice. And like not all the choices work. But the movie is very fun, even though it's kind of just like a mess. Like it's not as tight as like if this had actually gone to theaters, you would have expected it to be like get maybe one more script pass or something. I don't know. But it's based on a book, and I think they had to be true to the ideas of the book, like the production design, the robots.
Okay.
And the 90s aesthetic is interesting as well, because it's interesting to see a movie with like alt 90s tech.
Yeah.
So I would actually recommend you watch that movie, but know that it's not like an award-winning movie. It's just a good.
No, I was probably gonna watch it, but I don't know. Sometimes, yeah. Well, we'll see.
The problem with it is
I'm not making any promises here.
The problem is the first 30 minutes.
People are here for.
Yeah, the first 30 minutes of it is kind of the weakest part because there's so much to set up. And then once they get it set up, they do some fun stuff, and then they go to a place where things kind of bog down for a little while, and then it picks up again. It's a spotty movie, but I actually really enjoyed it for what it is.
Okay.
Anything you guys got to recommend?
I've been watching White Lotus and Reacher because I'm a white dude who has Prime.
I have also been watching both of those shows.
They're very satisfying.
They are. Exactly.
Reacher is all over the place this season.
It is.
It's better than last season.
Yeah, I liked last season, but I liked the special investigators thing. But I understand that
it was so repetitive and dumb, though.
I understand that the Reacher fans were not so happy about it.
Yeah, apparently the Reacher fan base are really upset about the New Hampshire gal's accent or something. Yeah.
The Boston girl?
Yeah.
My problem is her acting. She's the weakest actress in the show, and
it doesn't matter though. It's Reacher.
I know.
You know?
I know.
White Lotus is surprised at how good his Dominique person. She was good.
Yeah. You know? White Lotus has been really fun this season, but again, these are popcorn shows.
White Lotus, it still gives me a lot of anxiety to watch that show. I admit.
Yep.
So I'm like, and that's what it's for. I get that.
Yep.
But I'm like,
it's fun because somebody dies, so the whole season is just like, who's it gonna be?
I know it sounds awful,
and most of them
doing
deserve
that manipulative thing.
Yeah.
Where I'm like, oh, I don't want it to be that person. You know,
I want it to be all of them. They're all kind of garbage.
I'm afraid what's going to happen. And spoilers. Warning, I'm afraid that it's going to be the dad killing his whole family.
Oh, wow. That's dark.
So that he doesn't have to be embarrassed.
Wow.
And maybe the only one who survives is the daughter, and she goes into the Audrome.
Wow.
That's what I'm afraid is going to happen.
I don't think that's what's going to happen at all.
I mean, it's that, or it's going to be something stupid with Guy Talk and Fabian. So
You know, I'm not even trying to speculate anymore.
You know?
I'm just going to enjoy the ride.
Well, you know, they do the thing where they have a couple people from previous seasons,
Yeah.
and then they try to make sure they bump them off. You know, so it could be one of them if they're following their pattern. True. You know, so.
Dude, you're spoiling Severance. You're spoiling White Lotus season 2 also. Oh, Chris.
I know I'm a terrible person, and nobody should pay attention to me since I spoiled X-Files back in 2001. Right?
The lone gunmen are dead, baby.
Stop! No, come on. You're gonna have people email me again.
Spoiler.
Jesus.
Jesus. Severance is like 1 episode away from being done this season 2, and it's really been fun this season.
I have not been watching it, and we want to watch it. We just haven't had time.
You know, it's the single show right now that I'm waiting for the next episode. I'm watching like 5-6 different shows right now. It's the only one that I'm like, if you told me this, if the next episode of every show I'm watching shows up online tomorrow, Severance is the one I'm watching first.
Interesting.
It's really good. And it's a good sci-fi idea. And it kind of veered a little far away from what I wanted it to be. And then it kind of came swooping back.
Because you really wanted to be the prisoner. Yeah.
You know what it is that they bogged down.
No. You wanted to be Christopher Lambert's magnum opus, The Cube.
Yes. I often wanted
prison.
I wanted to be The Cube. No, it bogged a little far down into a religious cult thing. Yeah. And I was afraid that it was going to be
you have enough of that in your own life.
Yeah. You know? I was afraid it was going to be magic. And I want it to be sci-fi. It starts sci-fi, and then it felt like it was getting more and more magic and culty. And it's all kind of, the pieces are all coming a little bit better into place, and I'm enjoying what they're doing with it. It's really pleasant watching a show that feels like when they started writing it, they knew what they were doing when they started. And so I believe that when they get to the end, it's going to be a complete story. And I don't feel that with any shows anymore. I feel like they make it up as they go. Star Wars ruined me, man. The sequel trilogy ruined me. We should say goodbye.
It broke you.
It did. Although I'm rewatching Andor. Andor's great.
Okay.
Goodbye, Chris DeBona.
See ya.
Goodbye, Robert Boom.
Goodbye.
That was episode 878 of Geeks in Space. I was Rob Commander Taco Malta. We'll see you some other time. Bye-bye.